Welcome to lesson 11, problem number 2, where we are solving a system of equations by graphing. Remember that a system of equations means two equations with two variables or three equations with three variables. As soon as there's more than two variables and two equations, we have a system. So our goal is to find the one value of x and y in this case that works for both equations. So let's start with A. Now, one thing that's unusual with this lesson is because we're doing this like very precise graphing, I'm going to just remind you that you can reach out at any point with questions, but then I'm going to just zoom in because I want you to be able to see very clearly how we're graphing each of these lines. So for 2A, we're going to do our quick graph. We know -4 is the y-intercept and the slope is 1/2. So as we know, we go down to -4 on the y-axis because that's our intercept. And then we go up 1 because the slope is 1/2. We go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. And we can also go down 1 and left 2, which is still a positive slope because we're going down 1, which is a -1, left 2, which is a -2. And what we end up getting is all these points in a row that make up this line. So I'm going to make that really straight for us, and it goes right through those points. Okay, there's our first line. Okay, so now let's change the color. So I'm going to kind of make that first graph we did was the red one. So now let's go and let's make the other one green. So I'm going to kind of underline that so you know the second line is going to be the green graph. We're going to go up 2 for the y-intercept, and that slope, the number in front of the -x, it's really a -1x. So the slope is -1 because the number in front of x is always the slope. So we go down 1 over 1, 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 and we get this line. I'm going to just graph it right here. Let's see if it gets straight for me there. And then right there is our line. And if you zoom in, you will see very clearly that the intersection point is at 4, -2. That is the solution to the graph. Okay, let's do the same thing with the next one. The first line will be the red. The second line will be the green. I'm going to go through this pretty quickly because it's very similar. Our y-intercept is at 1 for the red graph. And then we're going to go down 1 over 3. Okay, and then we can also go up 1 over 1, 2, 3. And we can do more points. It's probably not a bad idea to do a couple more. So I'm going to continue down 1 over 3, 1, 2, 3, and you could certainly do more points, but I'm going to just kind of get our graph now. All right, and there it is. Okay, let's do the green one. And this will go pretty quickly now because it's down 6, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to put a big mark right there and then kind of get rid of these other little circles. Okay, so now our slope is 2. So I'm going to go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. And then I'm also going to go down 2, left 1, down 2, left 1. And here I can also go up 2 like that. And here is this line. All right, and it goes pretty much like that. Arrows at the end, and as you can tell, the point of intersection is right at 3, 0. Okay, let's go to the next one. We are rolling with these. The C is actually looks a little bit different, but it's actually a little bit trickier. But once you know it, it's going to go really quickly. So let's do this is the red graph, this is the green graph, and we're ready to roll. Y equals 2. If y equals 2, that means that the y coordinate of every single point on the line is 2. So there's only one possibility. We must have a horizontal line going through every single point where y is equal to 2. Okay, x is equal to -3 must be a vertical line because it's the only way that x would always be equal to -3. And once again, we get a nice straight line. I'm going to put it right through there. Okay, it's a little tiny bit to the right of -3, but you know exactly what I mean. And we can tell right away that that point of intersection is at -3, +2. Done. Okay, let's do another one. Here's the red graph. Here's the green. Oh, sorry about that. Let's see. So this is going to be the red graph. That's the red. And then let's make the second one the green. What makes this problem a little bit tougher is that we either have to graph it by first rewriting it in y equals mx plus b form, otherwise known as slope-intercept form, or we can find the intercepts. The only problem with the intercepts, though, in this case, is that this part is equal to 0. So I'm going to recommend, like if we tried to find the intercepts, we would just get that x and y are 0, which is very possible, but it's not going to help us get the shape of the line. So let's kind of start the red graph for a minute. And I'm going to rewrite it as 4y equals negative 2x plus 8. Now, hopefully you see that all I really did was subtract 2x from both sides. Okay, so now, and this was in other lessons, which is why I'm kind of skimming through it. So we're going to get the equation y equals negative 1/2 x plus 2. Okay, pretty straightforward because we know how to graph that. Here's 2 as our y-intercept, down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, up 1, left 2. Let's just redo that last point. That kind of was an accident. All right, and okay, let's see if they can make this into a straight line. Can you believe that was pretty good? This is much neater than my handwriting. Okay, so we have that. So now let's do the green graph. All right, so I'm going to kind of put a little arrow down here so you can see where we are. And once again, I'm going to take these two steps at once. I basically am adding 3x to both sides of the equation. And all that really means is that when we graph the line, we already have y all by itself because we're moving that 3x to the other side by adding it to both sides. Divide everything by negative 2. So y is equal to a negative 3/2 x, which means that the y-intercept is 0 because there's really like an imaginary plus 0 after the negative 3/2 x. But now what we do is we know that the slope is negative 3/2. So we're going to go down 3 and over 2. And we could also go up 3 and left 2. And either way, I'm going to go maybe put a couple more points in there. I'm going to go down 3, and you could do the same, and over 2. Okay, so now I'm going to, that was not so great, but maybe, and not bad. Okay, and the point of intersection is going to be right here. I think I'll make the point of intersection a big blue circle this time. And that point of intersection is at negative 2, positive 3. So negative 2, positive 3. That green graph is just over a little bit, but it's right there. Okay, so if you do it really precisely, negative 2, 3, and you're done. Great job.